What I'm going to talk to you about really specifically is our Internet Drug Outlet Identification Program. This is, oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, was I pointing this in your eye? Oh, okay. So our Internet Drug Outlet Identification Program is a program that we started just over 3 years ago. Our member boards of pharmacy, their mission is to protect the public health, and so our mission is also to help the boards do that. So that was one of our efforts to help them out. Specifically, what we do at the office is we have dedicated staff members who search the internet. They use spam, they use information we get from consumers, from patients, from other organizations, and they go in and they look at these websites. Now, just to be practical, we have these staff members have a system separate from our network, because half the time when they go into one of these sites, their computer crashes. So we do have a separate system set up for them, but and so they go online and they look at these sites and they evaluate them. 3 years ago, we got together a stakeholders group and came up with some criteria by which these sites would be evaluated. And it was quite a few stakeholders. We had FDA, I think we had partnership, we had American Pharmacists Association, National Association of Chain Drugstores, DEA, so it was a big group. So we came up with, I believe there are 13 standards that our staff evaluates these websites using. So what they do is they document their findings. We have a second staff member that verifies the findings and the suggested category that the websites go into. And then we publish that information. We mainly put it on our website, but every quarter we compile it and we send it off to a variety of people who want to know about it. I mean, first primarily we'll send it to our board members. We send it to FDA, we send it to DEA. We send it, we've had local law enforcement agencies interested in it. So we send it to them, and I think one of the Southern California Sheriff's offices has asked for it, so we send it to them. And we literally give them every piece of data that we get. We compile it into a nice report, and then we have every aspect of the website that we've documented. Not only the URL, but if there's any names associated with it. I'm not a techie, so whatever it is, the server location, that kind of thing. So we find it to be a very comprehensive report, and we've gotten a lot of compliments on it, so we're proud of that. The next slide. Oops. Oh my gosh. Sorry. My shoe got stuck in here. Anyhow, so this is the most recent survey result compilation. As of June 3rd, we had evaluated just over 8,200 websites. As you can see, we've got 3 categories of what we put them in at the evaluation point. We actually we took the VIPS pharmacies out of it. So we've got 57 VIPS certified pharmacies and e-advertiser approved pharmacies. And for those of you not familiar with our VIPS and our e-advertiser program, the VIPS program is our certification program. Brian mentioned it. We have 19 criteria that an applicant has to meet, plus they have to undergo an on-site inspection of their facility. And when they pass that, they are awarded VIPS or VET-VIPS certification. And they're given the prestigious VIPS seal of approval, and you'll see that later on. We also just recently created an e-advertiser approval program. That is for a pharmacy that provides very limited online services, such as just maybe online refill renewal, or a drug-related site that is not a pharmacy. And the reason we did that is that about a year ago, Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo said that they were going to only allow advertising of sites that were VIPS approved, of drug-related sites that were VIPS approved. The problem is that not all of the sites that they were denying advertising to fell into a VIPS category. We couldn't give them VIPS. So we created this new category, and as a result, now we have 57 entities that fall either under VIPS or e-advertiser. What we also found was 260 potentially legitimate sites. So those are the sites that we believe they're operating legitimately. They look like real pharmacies, and they look like they're operating safely. We just haven't gone there. We haven't reviewed their policies and procedures. But we do have those in a category that we don't publish because we don't really have a place for them right now, although that's being discussed in the future. And then, as you could see, we also have almost 7,900 that fell into our not recommended list, and those are the obviously criminal elements that are selling drugs illegally. Do the next slide. This slide provides some characteristics of those nearly 7,900 websites. The last 6 bars represent some of those characteristics. As you can see, we've got a little over 2,000 that we found that are based outside of the United States, which is sort of interesting. I guess we thought most of them would be foreign pharmacies, or not pharmacies, foreign sites, but they're really not. They have some sort of nexus to the United States. Nearly 6,000 do. We've got about 4,400 that provide no physical address, so that's one of those criteria that they would put them into our not recommended list, one of several. 6,600 don't require a valid prescription. That was not shocking at all to us. In fact, I guess we thought there would be more. We've got almost 5,000 that issue a prescription via an online consultation, no physical exam. 3,600 selling foreign or unapproved drugs, and nearly 1,000 offering controlled substances for sale. And so these next few slides are sort of a summary of that. We don't know who's on the other end. Obviously, most of them aren't legitimate pharmacies. They have no care for patient safety, no interest in verifying patient identity or the physical characteristics of the patient. So the next slide. Again, lack of medical oversight. There's no physical exam, so we don't consider there to have been a physician-patient relationship established, and thus the prescription that comes out of it we don't consider valid. Again, we've got so many selling foreign or unapproved drugs, and with no verification of how these products have been stored, so we don't know if they're safe or efficacious. We actually don't even know if they're the real thing. Here's an example that we found. Our VIP seal was being used on a fraudulent site. And we found it in many instances where that's been stolen, in effect. We are able to generally shut down those sites when we let the registrar know that the site is using our trademark seal. We were informed of this one by a company called LegitScript. He had found, I don't know if you're familiar, they use our standards, and they also evaluate online websites. But they had found some online drug sellers posting fake licenses. We went to Minnesota Board, and they said, no, we didn't give that out. I don't even think they have a drug reselling license. So we were able to contact the registrar of that website and get that taken down as well. This is just like a snapshot of one of the Google blogs, the alerts that we get from Google. We use the search term Vicodin and get I think we get this every day or every other day. And every day we're able to find places to buy from if we wanted to. Very similar to what Brian showed, the advertisements are very slick and attractive. No prescription needed, even more attractive. So, next one. We've learned a lot about spam and malware and social networks as part of this project. In 2009, we got information from McAfee that nearly 19 out of every 20 emails is a spam. Most of them don't get into our mailboxes. But of those that are spam, over 70% are advertising prescription drugs from so-called Canadian websites. And then they link to a rogue website. And we just found that just such an amazingly high number. We've been told that 80% of spam is generated by computers that have been compromised by malware, and the owners of the computers don't know it. And as Brian mentioned, we've got a lot of sightings on social networks of internet drug sales, illegal ones. So what NABP has attempted to do is take this information that we've collected and compiled and get it out there. I mentioned that we send our reports to regulators that are interested. In fact, many are. But we also try to target patients. And so what we did back when we started the program was we created a Buying Medicine Online section of our website targeted to patients. We took the information that we were collecting and made it into Word, revised the text to make it a little simpler, make it easy for patients to understand. And then we gave them the links to our recommended sites, I like air quotes, and not recommended sites. Our recommended sites, oh wait, if you can go to the next slide. Our recommended sites are our VIPs and our VetVIPs certified pharmacies. Those are really the only ones that we can actually say with very high confidence that are going to be providing safe, effective care to patients. And the next one. And then we have our not recommended sites. So we do list the nearly 8,000 sites on our webpage. We don't make them hyperlinked to them. We just list them out. And we have found many patients that actually do go and take a look at the list before they'll purchase. We also on that section have a report a site for patients to report sites, and we probably get several a week, so it works out. Next one. Our most recent endeavor, which we started up last year, was we purchased a website called www.awarerx.org. What we had found was our Buying Medicine Online section of our website was probably not the easiest to find. People don't know to go to nabp.net to look for this information. So what we had done is we found out that it was available for sale from the Minnesota Pharmacists Foundation. They had created this very slick, very attractive and interesting program targeted to patients talking about prescription drug abuse. So we worked with Minnesota Pharmacists Foundation and were able to purchase it. And just in February, we had taken the website and sort of revamped it and given it a lot more information. So we provide all the information that I'm talking about right now to patients via that website in an easy to understand format. Plus, we also provide information that was already on there and just updated it. And as you can see, one of the things, and Brian I'm sure is familiar with Justin Pearson, is Justin Pearson was, I think, 21 years old when he died of a drug overdose of a prescription-controlled substance that he purchased online. And his father has become a big advocate of educating patients and regulators and legislators about this problem, and he was instrumental in the development of this website. So. We're also very lucky to have a lot of cooperation from other groups, including the partnership. And FDA, I think you guys are two of our biggest supporters and providers of information to us as well. We've been able to work with, again, like the search engines, they use our VIP seal now, and then we created this e-advertiser program for them to use, so that was a really good thing. Again, we've got registrars that will contact with this information, and they'll take sites down based on that. And we work with LegitScript on that. The owner of LegitScript, John Horton, is very instrumental in going in and getting to registrars and getting them to close down websites. Again, FDA, DEA, and all of the pharmacy organizations have been very supportive. So we've been very lucky. This has really been a great program, and a lot of support for it has been coming to us.